Learn step by step how to put together a weekly BARF menu that is 100% balanced and updated, ensuring all the nutrients your dog needs to live healthier and full of energy. In this video, you will understand the correct proportions between meat, bones, offal, vegetables, and supplements, how to vary ingredients throughout the week, avoid common mistakes, and adapt the diet for different ages and sizes. We will also show strategies to organize purchases, freeze portions, and maintain the routine in a practical and safe way, always applying the latest recommendations of veterinary nutrition. Watch until the end and find out how to transform your dog's diet with simple, efficient planning and full of benefits. Subscribe to the channel, activate the bell. Putting together a complete weekly BARF menu for your dog goes far beyond simply choosing a few ingredients and mixing them in the bowl. It is a task that requires knowledge about proportions, nutritional variation, food quality, and above all, about the specific needs of your animal. Every detail counts, from the source of the proteins to the way of processing vegetables and storing the portions. A well-structured menu ensures that the dog receives all the essential nutrients throughout the week, avoiding deficiencies or excesses that could harm health in the short and long term. And when we talk about up-to-date, it means applying the latest recommendations in veterinary nutrition, which today are much more specific and based on real data than a few years ago. The first step is to understand the basis of BARF. This diet, an acronym for Biologically Appropriate Raw Food, seeks to offer raw, minimally processed foods, mimicking the composition of a natural prey. In practice, a balanced menu revolves around 5 main groups: raw fleshy bones, provide calcium, phosphorus, and collagen; muscle meats, main source of protein and energy; offal, rich in vitamins and minerals; vegetables and fruits, fiber, antioxidants, and phytonutrients; and specific supplements when necessary. The most accepted standard proportions today are around 70% of meat and bones, 10% of offal, 10 to 15% of vegetables and fruits, and the rest dedicated to complements such as fish oil, eggs, and ground seeds. But these proportions are not fixed for everyone. An active, working, or sporting dog may need more calories and protein, while an elderly dog may benefit from adjustments to fat content and joint supplementation. That is why the assembly of the weekly menu must consider the animal's weight, age, activity level, health status, and even food preferences. A very common mistake is to follow ready-made recipes without adaptations, which can result in inadequate weight gain or loss, a drop in energy, and even digestive problems. When planning the week, it is important to vary protein sources. It's not just about maintaining the dog's interest in food, but about ensuring a broader spectrum of amino acids and micronutrients. A good strategy is to alternate chicken, beef, fish, lamb, and, when possible, less common meats, such as rabbit or duck. This rotation prevents subtle deficiencies from accumulating over time. Likewise, varying the types of viscera, liver, kidney, spleen, heart, ensures a balanced supply of fat-soluble vitamins and minerals such as iron and zinc, without overloading the body with an excess of a single nutrient. Vegetables and fruits, often underestimated in the canine diet, play an essential role. Although dogs do not depend on carbohydrates to survive, fiber and phytochemicals present in these foods help keep the intestine healthy, balance the bacterial flora, and provide antioxidants that protect the cells. On the weekly menu, including pumpkin, carrots, zucchini, broccoli, kale, and small portions of fruits such as apples, seedless, blueberries, and melons can make a difference. The secret is in the preparation. Vegetables must be crushed raw or lightly steamed to break the cell wall and allow the absorption of nutrients. Another point that needs to be included in the planning is the logistics of purchases and storage. Putting together a weekly menu also means knowing how to fractionate portions and keep everything fresh and safe. Ideally, you should buy meat and bones from trusted suppliers, freeze them for at least 3 days, especially fish, to reduce the risk of parasites, and organize daily portions in airtight packaging. This practice not only facilitates the routine, but also avoids waste and ensures that each meal has the exact composition planned. For the menu to be really efficient, it is essential to record what was offered and how the dog reacted. Changes in stool, breath, disposition, and even skin and fur may indicate the need for adjustments. This control allows us to perceive, for example, if a certain vegetable causes gas, if a source of protein causes itching, or if the amount of bones is adequate. Small weekly adjustments based on observation transform BARF into a personalized health tool. The final touch to an updated menu is to incorporate supplementation when necessary. High-purity fish oil is one of the most common additions, providing essential fatty acids like DHA and EPA for brain and skin health. Other supplements may include probiotics for gut balance, nutritional yeast as an extra source of B vitamins, and even calcium powder when bones are not consumed regularly. But, as always, supplementing unnecessarily can cause more harm than good, so veterinary monitoring is essential. A well-assembled weekly BARF menu is like a gear. Each piece and ingredient ratio preparation and monitoring needs to work in harmony to keep the dog healthy, active, and vibrant. The secret lies in careful preparation and constant adaptation to your pet's needs, ensuring that each meal is not only nutritious but part of a larger care and longevity plan. Building a truly effective weekly BARF menu starts with understanding that balance and variety are not optional, but rather the foundation of the entire process. Once you understand the ideal principles and proportions, it's time to get into the practical details. How to spread the ingredients throughout the week to avoid nutritional monotony and ensure that by the end of 7 days, all of your dog's needs are covered. One of the most recommended strategies is to work with a rotation matrix of proteins and complements. Imagine the week divided into 7 columns, each representing a day, and 5 rows, each representing a food group: fleshy bones, muscle meat, offal, vegetables, fruits, and supplements. Each day, the ingredients of each group vary in a planned way. For example, on Monday, meaty chicken bones, beef, liver, pumpkin and carrot mix, fish oil. On Tuesday, meaty lamb bones, chicken meat, kidney, broccoli, and apple mix, probiotics. This alternation ensures a diversity of nutrients that no single protein could offer alone. The calculation of quantity is another pillar. On average, adult dogs consume between 2 and 3% of their body weight in fresh food per day, while puppies and very active dogs can be as high as 5 or 6%. However, that's just the base. Fine-tuning depends on observation and experience. This is where many owners make the mistake of overfeeding because they think that BARF is more natural and therefore does not make you fat. Excessive weight gain can happen, and quickly, if there is no strict control of portions, especially of very fatty cuts and viscera. The time to include fleshy bones in the weekly diet should also be thought about carefully. Although they provide essential calcium and phosphorus, too much can cause constipation and whitish, dry stools. A good average is to offer fleshy bones 3 to 4 times a week, interspersed with meals of pure meat and vegetables. On boneless days, calcium can be supplemented with sanitized and ground eggshell flour, but always calculating the amount to avoid mineral imbalances. In the field of viscera, variety remains the golden rule. It is common to see menus that offer excess liver, ignoring other equally nutritious options such as spleen, lung, and heart. These parts, in addition to being rich in iron and vitamins, contribute to a more complete amino acid profile. A good proportion is to keep the viscera around 10% of the weekly diet, with half of this value represented by the liver and the other half distributed among the other organs. Vegetables and fruits should be processed in such a way that the dog can absorb their nutrients. Grinding the mixture in the processor into a paste makes digestion easier, as dogs don't produce enzymes to break down cellulose efficiently. An interesting rotation can include squash, broccoli, kale, spinach, zucchini, carrots, and small portions of fruits like blueberries and watermelon. More sugary fruits such as bananas and mangoes should be offered in moderation to avoid glycemic overload. Another point that differentiates a really updated menu is the way of distributing supplements throughout the week. Instead of offering them all on the same day, it is better to alternate to improve absorption and avoid competition between nutrients. For example, fish oil can be given every other day, probiotics 3 times a week, and nutritional yeast twice. This scheme not only optimizes the use but also avoids silent excesses. Practical organization is what transforms theory into routine. Setting aside 1 day of the week to prepare and portion all meals is the most efficient method. Packing daily portions in containers or bags identified with the date, already in the exact composition, reduces proportion errors and speeds up the eating routine. In addition, it allows you to easily visualize what will be offered the next day, keeping the variety planned. Finally, it is important to review the menu weekly. Seasonal changes, new offerings in the market, or changes in the dog's health status may require immediate adjustments. A dog recovering from surgery, for example, may need more protein and less fiber for a few days, while a weight-gaining animal should receive leaner cuts and reduce fat until it stabilizes. This flexibility is one of the biggest advantages of BARF over industrialized feed, and knowing how to use it intelligently is what guarantees a lasting result. Finalizing a complete and updated weekly BARF menu means uniting theory, practice, and continuous maintenance of the eating routine. At this stage, the focus is to transform the plan into something functional, safe, and adaptable to the natural changes that occur in the dog's life. A good menu is not static. It must evolve with the animal, following its growth, aging, and any changes in health or activity level. The first long-term factor is the periodicity of the review. A monthly assessment of weight, body condition, energy, and overall health is the recommended minimum. This allows you to identify portion adjustments before a problem worsens, whether due to excessive weight gain, muscle loss, or a drop in energy. Dogs in specific phases, such as puppies or pregnant lactating females, may need weekly adjustments to keep up with the accelerated nutritional demands. Another essential point is cost management and logistics. By working with a weekly BARF menu, it is possible to take advantage of promotions and buy in larger quantities, freezing the ingredients without loss of quality. This also reduces trips to the market and avoids last-minute improvisations that compromise the balance of the plan. An effective practice is to maintain a basic inventory, recording the quantities of each ingredient in the freezer and updating whenever a batch is used. Digestive health is another parameter that needs constant monitoring. Changes in the consistency of the stool, increased gas, sporadic vomiting, or changes in appetite are signs that the composition of the menu may need to be revised. In these cases, it is essential to identify if the problem is caused by a specific ingredient, excess fat, lack of fiber, or even bones in inadequate quantities. Punctual adjustments and monitoring of the dog's response help maintain balance. The strategic inclusion of supplements is also part of this step. Even in well-balanced diets, some nutrients may not be obtained in optimal amounts, especially in dogs that do not get a wide variety of proteins. Supplements such as fish oil, rich in omega-3s, probiotics, vitamin E, seaweed, source of iodine, and eggshell powder, for calcium, can be used in a planned manner throughout the week. It is important to respect safe dosages and, preferably, to have veterinary monitoring to avoid excesses. The rotation of proteins and vegetables must be maintained even when finding a combination that the dog loves. Food monotony can lead to deficiencies in the medium and long term, in addition to increasing the risk of food sensitivities. Creating a quarterly rotation calendar ensures that throughout the year, the dog receives a wide range of nutrients and antioxidants, strengthening its immune system and preventing disease. Another factor that influences the success of the menu is the timing of food. Offering meals at regular times helps the dog's body adapt and facilitates digestion. It is also valid to associate the meal with calm moments, avoiding offering food right after intense exercise to prevent discomfort or even gastric torsion in predisposed breeds. In terms of safety, maintaining hygiene in preparation remains a golden rule. Exclusive utensils for the preparation of the dog's meals, immediate cleaning of work surfaces, and careful hand washing before and after handling are habits that avoid cross-contamination. Correct storage in the freezer and slow defrosting in the refrigerator are indispensable to maintain nutritional quality and microbiological safety. Last but not least is the emotional and behavioral aspect of BARF. A well-planned weekly menu not only nourishes the body, but also enriches the dog's daily life. The inclusion of varied textures, pieces that stimulate chewing, and even days with adequate recreational bones contribute to mental well-being, reducing stress and anxiety. Keeping an up-to-date weekly BARF menu is an ongoing commitment to dog health. It requires discipline, observation, and willingness to adjust whenever necessary, but the result pays off. A healthier animal with energy, shiny coats, and a superior quality of life. And more than following a recipe, it is about building a relationship of conscious care, where each meal is planned to contribute years of vitality and well-being. If you want to see your dog healthier, more active, and with a better quality of life, subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and share this video with other tutors. Comment below which proteins and vegetables your dog likes the most. Your experience can help others put together a perfect BARF menu.